Alright everyone, welcome to the Rugby League History channel. Hope you're all well on this Monday. I'm pretty sure you're all buzzing to get back to work. Tonight's video is going to be the 2018 Parramatta Eels, the unluckiest NRL wooden spooners. Before I get into that video, I'm at 573 subscribers at the moment. I'm looking to get to 600 by the end of January. My original goal was to get to 500 subscribers by the end of January. I smashed that, and now I'm looking to get to 600. Thank you to everyone that's recently subscribed over the last couple of days, and thanks to everyone that's supported my channel since the very start back in March 2020. So Parramatta in 2018. If you're a casual observer of Rugby League, or maybe you're just a casual fan, or you don't really know much about Rugby League, and you looked at the 2018 table and you're going through the teams and you see Parramatta at the bottom and you go, well, they must have been pretty shite in 2018. They mustn't have been very good if they come last. Well, if you actually experienced the year like I did as a Parramatta fan, we're probably the unluckiest wooden spoon winners in 2018, because some of the stuff that went against us and some things that happened were just out of this world. I mean, you get some teams, some wooden spoon teams, where they're getting beaten by 40 or 50 points every year, and they're deservedly wooden spoon winners. But for Parramatta in 2018, it was just a case of just bad luck after bad luck. So I'm going to go through some of the games and tell you why Parramatta are unlucky, and maybe why they're probably the unluckiest winner of the wooden spoon. So to start off the year, we were ahead against Penrith. We ended up getting chased down. We lost that game. Mitchell Moses got sent to the sin bin, and he also got a HIA. In round 2, of course, we all know the famous 54-0 loss against Manly at Brookvale Oval. I remember that day was dead hot, and I think Brad Arthur was having the players run out in the field about 20 minutes before the game, which I don't know why the fuck he was doing that, especially with that type of weather. I wouldn't have my players running out in that heat before a match like that. And then the bad luck started in round 3 and just continued from there. In round 3, we had several chances to win that game against Cronulla, but we just couldn't hold on to the ball, and we bombed a couple of tries. We ended up losing 14 points to 4. Round 4, once again, we lost 30 points to 20, but we really should have won that game over West Tigers. Round 5, we lost a narrow game, 12-6 against Penrith. We bombed a couple of tries in that game. We really should have won about 24 points to 12, but we did that. And then in round 9, Cronulla led that game for most of the match down there at Shark Park. Parramatta scored a try with only seconds remaining, and Mitchell Moses had a chance to send the game to golden point. He had a kick from the touchline. Unfortunately, he missed that kick, so Cronulla ended up winning 22 points to 20. In round 10, we were ahead in that match. We were beating Canterbury, and it was 12-all. Canterbury fought their way back into the match. There was about 5 minutes to go, and Josh Jackson from Canterbury, of all people, Josh Jackson gets the ball. He puts through a grubber. It was a nothing kick. Clint Gutherson, he's running back to get the ball to kick it dead, and at the last moment it takes a leg break, like someone out of a cricket match. He goes to kick it, he misses it, takes an air swing. Adam Elliott plants the ball down. Canterbury win the game 20 points to 12. The following week, we're beating New Zealand, and once again we get chased down. Blake Green puts through a grubber kick. Mitchell Moses goes to dive for the ball, and then all of a sudden it was like all the Earth's gravity just vanished and we were on the moon or some other foreign planet, and the ball just went zoop over the top of Mitchell Moses' head. It hit the divot, went right up in the air, and Jazz Tavunga put the ball down, scored the try which won the game for New Zealand. After that game, I'm not a religious person, but I said to myself, does God hate us? If there is a God, does he hate Parramatta? I mean, do the Rugby League gods hate us? Because that's twice in 2 weeks that we've lost due to the bounce of the ball. And then in round 12 against Brisbane, we lost that match 18 points to 10, but if you go back and watch the replays on YouTube, Michael Jennings dropped the ball over the line twice. So there's potentially 12 points there. We should have won that game against Brisbane. In round 16, we played against St George down in Wollongong there. We were coming dead last, St George were coming first, and we were leading 18 points to 8 at half time, and that was pretty much the scoreline right up until about 5 minutes to go. Brad Arthur, in his infinite wisdom, I don't know why he did it, but he brought on Will Smith for some fucking strange reason. Will Smith, his first action was to throw a forward pass, which led to St George scoring a try off that. And then he tried probably the worst 40-20 attempt I've ever seen in my life. The ball went about 5 metres, and St George scored the winning try off that to win 20 points to 18. So they scored 2 converted tries in the last 5 minutes to win that game. And then round 18, I didn't actually get to watch this game live, but we're playing up against Newcastle up there at Marathon Stadium there. And I was listening on the radio, and with about 5 seconds to go, Bevan French scores in the corner, and they're going, we're just checking to see whether he's got his whole body in there, he hasn't put his foot on the line or out like that. And I'm sat there thinking, you know, knowing our luck, the way that this season's gone, they're going to see that he has a foot in the line. And then on the radio it come through, Bevan French has got a foot in the line, no try, Newcastle win 18-16. I went, fuck's sake, fuck this. I was at work, I tried my best to keep it together. If I was at home, I probably would have fucking smashed something, but I was at work and I just had to grit my teeth and pretend that we hadn't lost another match, and I had to smile and be happy in front of everyone, which was really hard to do. Round 20 against South Sydney. South Sydney were really good that year. They were top 4 pretty much the whole year. We were winning 18 points to 6 at half time. In the second half, we had 2 tries disallowed. I think one was through a forward pass, one was through an intercept that we took, but it hit one of the South players' pinkies or thumbs. So they called back and that was no try. South Sydney ended up running us down and winning 26 points to 20. So if you look at some of the results that we had throughout the year and some of the bad luck we had, if we would have won those matches, that's an extra 20 points, because we finished on 14 competition points. If all those results went our way and we had some luck, or even half of that luck, we would have finished on 34 competition points, which would have put us between 4th and 8th position on the ladder, because a lot of the clubs that made the finals that year finished on 32 points or higher. Yes, Parramatta did have some bad results throughout the year. After the conclusion of that round 20 match, in the last 2 games of the year, we were the sacrificial lamb up there in North Queensland. It was Jonathan Thurston's last home game, Matt Scott's last home game as well. We were the sacrificial lamb there up in Townsville. There was no chance of us winning that game. And then in the last game of the year, we were the sacrificial lamb against Eastern Suburbs, Sydney Roosters. They were chasing the minor premiership. They knew that they had to score, I think, 30 or more points against us to win it. And in a way, I'm glad that they won the minor premiership, because guess what? It stopped Melbourne from winning it, and it changed the scope of the final series, and Eastern Suburbs ended up winning the premiership. So I got no bother with that. But it was just an unlucky year all round. We finished with 6 wins for the year. Looking back on it, we had some really bad injuries to some key players. Clint Gutherson, he did his ACL in 2017. He didn't come back till round 6, and guess what? We lost our first 6 games. When Clint Gutherson come back for round 7, we won our first game of the year against Manly. We beat them 44 points to 10 or something like that. And then the week after that, we beat West Tigers. So you can see what Clint Gutherson does to that Parramatta side. We also had Kenny Edwards. He was sacked for an off-field incident. We didn't have Nathan Brown for pretty much most of the year. He was our best player in 2017. He wasn't there. Kirasomi Arvar, who had a good year in 2017, he retired due to a back injury. And we also didn't have a recognised number 9. We had injuries to Keezer Pritchard. We had Cameron King injured as well. And towards the end of the year, we had to throw in Reid Marnie. There was also player disharmony. You had Corey Norman there. He's a cancer. He's a poison. He had a few off-field incidents. There was one game where I could tell that something wasn't right in the playing group. When I watched that replay of the Newcastle game, Corey Norman took an intercept. He run pretty much the length of the field. We were in front in that match, and you think after losing all those games that you'd be ecstatic to put the ball down and put us in front. But Corey Norman, there was no emotion on his face when he scored that try. There was nought. And throughout the whole year, I think you could tell that some players were going through the motions. I think there was a bit of, even though Mitchell Moses and Corey Norman have come out and said, there was no bother between both of us and everything was sound as a pound and all that. I think that there was, I think they were just trying to save face, and it was kind of I knew it was going to happen in 2019. As soon as Norman wasn't there, Parramatta was going to go back up the ladder, and that was the case. So anyway, that's me 2018 Parramatta Eels, the most unlucky NRL wooden spooners. Let me know your comments in the section below. Do you agree with me? Do you think that Parramatta had a really unlucky year in terms of injuries, results, bouncing the ball and all that caper? Or do you think that they probably deserved the wooden spoon? You let me know in the comment section below. And if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to the channel. Please consider subscribing to the channel. I'm currently at 573 subscribers, looking to get to 600 by the end of January. And don't forget to like, share, comment and all that caper on my videos. Alright everyone, I'm going to get out of here, and I'll catch you all later in the next video. Alright, tatty bye now.